All right, let's go ahead and get started. 1 hour about motivation, meditation, and inspiration. And if it's not one of the three, I don't want it. So let's go ahead and start talking about how we can utilize focus and knowledge in our daily basis and how we can utilize it in the situations that are going on around us. So, one of the biggest challenges that a lot of people face off against is getting to be themselves. And a lot of times, a lot of people want to separate themselves or put themselves in certain ways that they feel that they're greater than somebody else. That's not the purpose. That's not the purpose. The purpose is getting to the place where inside of yourself simplicity is. To get to the place inside of yourself where you start to absorb your level of focus, and what ultimately happens is you utilize the laws of this universe. So ask yourself, is it about motivation, meditation, or inspiration? If it's not one of the three, I don't want it. Now, the reason why I don't want it is because what I reflect outwards is motivation. What people recognize me with is meditation. And what I put out into the atmosphere is inspiration. So let's go ahead and get started on this. So the closer that we actually look into motivation, we start to notice that the people who are motivation come down to their level of focus. The reflection that people see this of is called determination. And so when people recognize and identify with you as focused, when they put in place that you are simple, that what you can do is utilize yourself. Welcome. Hello, all. I'm working on multiple platforms. I have Facebook, YouTube, Periscope. You guys are all welcome. I want to help us all to elevate ourselves to a place inside where what we have is simply ourselves. And so when we see that we have such things as our breath, and we have the ability to get to that place of focus where we start to utilize the tools in this universe, that's when other people start to identify with you as a reflection. And what they see is this level of determination coming from your level of focus. They see that you're strong. They see that you are motivated, as well as other things. So we should never be asking ourselves if we're motivated. We should always be getting to that place of focus, always moving, always continuing growing, always putting ourselves in a way that ultimately what reflects outwards is coming from within who we are. So as we break down to ourselves, as we get down to that simplicity where we're bypassing things, that's when we start to see that other people have gotten to that place. So that's why motivation is a process. Motivation is a process because not only do you reflect out motivation, also other people can be, from their level of focus to you, a reflection of motivation. So motivation is a very special tool. It means that you are identifying with the torque in this universe being utilized from a level of focus. Now, there's a lot of times that people are going to try to take this and twist it backwards. There's a lot of people who have it actually backwards. They believe the motivation is inside of themselves, which in fact, it's not inside of you. It's what other people see when you are focused, when you are in your place, when you're putting yourself in such a way that what is reflecting outwards, others identify with you as. Now, that's a very key point because as we identify with the simplicity of ourselves, then what reflects outwards is important too. So this means that we absorb focus. We actually absorb it. So as we give ourselves that ability, we have the ability to go beyond things. We can use these tools, and this universe has the ability to utilize you. So when you recognize that no matter the challenges that you face off against, that as long as you focus, you can actually literally bypass the emotion and get to the place where focus exists. Get to the place where you elevate yourself to where others would not go. When you elevate yourself, the reflection that others will see is strength. So in other words, if you allow other people to be the ones who see you, if you allow other people to recognize that what you have gone through, the challenges that you have been through, you have gotten to a place where you focus that well, then ultimately what happens is the reflection will shine outwards, and that is when other people will identify with you. So in other words, the more focused one is, the more reflections one has. The more they absorb that focus and they utilize those tools, the torque in this universe will utilize you. And that's something really great. That means that the level of a person's focus becomes a reflection on the outside, and they ultimately get and achieve what they focus on. Now, that is the reason why I am actually a knife in this universe, because I identify and understand this. I want you to recognize that when you utilize the tools of this universe properly, okay, when you use the tools in this universe properly, what ultimately happens is the external becomes a reflection. So this means that you can change the atmosphere around you from getting down to the point of being yourself. When you put yourself in that place and that reflection shines outwards, others will see this from within who you are. So this means it doesn't require anybody else. It doesn't mean that you have to change yourself. You have to ask yourself, am I taking on too many tasks? Can I take on the tasks that I take on well? Can I put myself in a place where I can do tasks to the point where I am the best? And that's when this universe starts to identify with you as torque. It will use your level of focus and it will test that to see if in fact that's what you truly want. It will ask you, is this what you want? And if the answer inside of yourself is, I'm focused, then ultimately what will happen is the absorption will become a reflection on the outside of this. Now, as that external becomes that specific reflection, what ultimately happens with this tool, which is you become utilizable to this universe. As you become utilizable to this universe, that's when people will identify with you as motivation. That's why motivation is important, because it's the ability to study people who have focus to that level. It's the ability to get to that level inside of yourself where you're grinding you versus you. When we get down with ourselves, when we get down inside of who we are, when we recognize that the challenges that we face off against on a daily basis, we can overcome from our level of focus, then it comes to how many tasks you're doing on a daily basis. And if you are doing each individual task to the best of your focus, that is when the reflection shows outwards. That is when people call you strong. That is when people say you are a motivation. So as we put that place in process, as we put ourselves in that place, some of the tools that we can utilize are the ability to study those who have focused to that level to achieve that place in any given profession, place, task, or goal. So if we achieve through our levels of focus, the reflection will become the results that other people will identify with. When you focus to that level, it's simple. It's what you are. It's the ability to put yourself in that place, to not make an excuse, to not be a poor you, but to say, look, I didn't have enough focus. I didn't put myself in that place. I didn't focus to the point where what came out of me was a reflection. Because when you do, what you ultimately see is a reflection from within who you are. When you see that other people identify with you as strong, they identify with you as a victor, they identify with you as a motivation and a reflection of strength from your level of focus. That's when it becomes simple. That's when you become a hunter in this universe and not a gatherer. You all are meant to be hunters, but you must get to the place where you focus. When you take on that task, you become the best at that task. When you have that task, you put yourself in that place where the ultimate reflection comes from within who you are. And in this place, you get down with yourself. You say, it's me versus me. When I say that to myself, when I put myself in that place where it comes from my level of focus, when it comes from within you, from your level of focus, that the reflection will shine outwards. That means that you can set tasks in front of yourself. You can focus to the point to achieve those tasks. That means that the reflection will shine outwards and people will identify with you as strong. And this universe needs those people. This universe needs those people that identify with focus. I will say that again. This universe needs you. It needs you to be the best you can be. It needs you to put yourself in such a way that you have a connection with your level of focus. It needs you to not listen to the people who would say you don't have an able mentality. It needs you to recognize that the tools in this universe are utilizable in such a way that what shines outwards comes from your level of focus. So in other words, it's all you versus you. Do you have that inside of yourself? Can you absorb focus to the point where you are studying that focus reflection? Can you put yourself in such a way where you are inside of you, where it's not backwards and twisted, where this universe utilizes you instead of crushes you? And when you see this and you identify with what I am talking about, what I am saying is that the person who has the ability to focus ultimately becomes a hunter in this universe. This universe will utilize them as a tool. This universe will put them in such a way that the tasks that they have to take on, they can achieve. And the tools that we have, they're all around us. The tools that we have in each individual way are available to you and I. It is ultimately up to us to recognize this and to be go-getters in this universe. It's ultimately up to us to become the reflection of our levels of focus, to put ourselves in such a way that we liberate ourselves from emotions that are not necessary. The ability to focus to the place of elevation to where we utilize the absorption of focus, and what shows outwards is the reflection. So I want you to see that you have that inside of yourselves. I want you to all join my network, Motivation, Meditation, Inspiration, all one word, .yoga. And I want to work with you. I want to help you to grow. I want you to see that you can become strong in this universe, that the people around you can see you as a reflection of strength, as a victorious person, as a person who can overcome and can see the strength inside of themselves as a reflection outwards. Recognizing that the challenges that you face off against on a daily basis are up to you. They're from your today, your yesterday, your last week, and that there are tools that are available to you to utilize. if you do utilize these tools that you have, like studying people who have hit levels of focus so that you can achieve levels of focus, if you look at the inwards focus and reflect outwards and allow yourself to become a reflection, if you get into yourself to the point where when you set a task in front of yourself, you recognized how many tasks you're taking on a day so that you don't take on too many tasks to where you can't complete them to the best of your ability. Who's asking themselves these types of questions? You should ask yourself that question. Am I putting myself in a way, am I taking on the tasks in my day that I am able to achieve the tasks that I put in front of myself? Are you putting tasks in front of yourself in such a way that you can achieve them? That's another thing. Absorbing the focus to the point where what's coming outwards is the reflection from within you. Are you putting the things inside of yourself and the people around you that are allowing you to focus, to achieve your dreams, to achieve your written goals? And that is why writing is so important, by the way, because if you don't put things in front of yourself and get to that place of focus inside of who you are, then the question comes down to who will? Who will get down with themselves to the point where what shines outwards comes from within who they are? And that's the type of question that takes us from the ability to excuse ourselves, okay? The ability to say it's somebody else to, no, it's me. It's all on me. It's all on you. It's all on your level of focus. And what about when you don't got that task and you take on that task? Is it all of a sudden about somebody else, or does it become your own challenge? And how can you get to the level of focus with the tool that you utilize, that this universe has the ability to utilize you? So that's why it is actually a process. And the tools that we can utilize, and the more tools that you have available to you, show through you. And so some of these tools can be used differently. The ability to absorb the proper foods gives you ability to have the reflection on the outwards as the result. The ability to write stuff down gives you the ability to see things in front of you and absorb the level of focus that you can achieve things. The ability to listen to those who have focused and gotten to that place where what has come from within is a reflection on the outside gives you the ability to recognize that they are motivation themselves. Ultimately, what you're looking at when you're looking at them is their level of focus. They were willing to go to the place where others wouldn't go to achieve their level of focus. And so when we break it down to that place, when we no longer make those type of excuses, when we recognize the positions that we do have and we do them to the best of our capability, then ultimately what shines outwards is the reflection. And you have to ask yourself, am I focused on this? And if this is not the task that you're focused on, so then what tasks are you focused on? You got to ask yourself that type of question. You got to put yourself in a place where what shines outwards comes from you achieving you. Hear what I'm saying? We've had it so backwards. We've learned that we gotta be motivated. We gotta be on time. We gotta be in this place. Nah, those are results from your level of focus. When you put yourself in the place of focus, you start to achieve those things that you want to achieve. When you put yourself in the place where it is on you and not me or anybody else, that's when the challenges that you face off against come up against you versus you. And the world has put us all in a way, such as the mind thought process, to not liberate this from ourselves. That's why I'm telling you, I'm like a knife in this universe. I'm here to untwist and extract the knowledge so that you can get to that place inside of yourselves to where you can just focus, where you can recognize it's you versus you. It ain't about any, it's only about a able mentality. Then that's it. What you got is what you got. Can you do with what you got? Ask yourself that question. And I can tell you definitely each of you can. Each of you have the ability to go from that place of focus to reflect outwards from within who you are. And that place is within each individual. Each individual's focus is going to be different. Each individual's journey is going to be different. Can you recognize, can you see those motivational speakers and what they're talking about from the place where they are to reflect outwards through from within your level of focus? Can you get yourself to that place inside of you where what shines outwards comes from within you? And I'm telling you, you can. There has to be no more buts or ifs or anything. It is me versus me. We get to that place inside of ourselves. We get to that place where the focus comes from our level of absorption, where what others see us as reflection. When we're doing our own journey, when we're on this focused path, we're in this place, and where what reflects outwards comes from within who we are. And that's when we start to be called boss. That's when we get the promotions. That's when this universe utilizes our level of torque. And that's why there's tests. That's why each individual's focus is important. Each individual's tasks are important. Each task that you take on in your day is very important. And you got to see that. Nobody else is going to see that for you. Nobody else is going to take that blame for you. No one is going to breathe for you. That is amazing. That you have the ability to focus. That tool can be used through you. That you can put yourself in a way that you can get down with yourself. When you put yourself in that place where it is me versus me, when you put yourself in that way that you don't need the cavalry to pick you up, you don't need no one to come and save you, when it goes from your level of focus and that you're enough, that you can do with what you got, that this universe is a place for you, the tools within this universe are utilizable by your level of focus, that you can see the tools around you working in your favor. When they see other people start to see that, they're going to call you strong. Let them be the ones who see those names. Let them call you a great people. Let them see the results from your level of focus, from within who you are. And that's what I'm here for. I'm here to tell you that you can focus to the point where you can extract the tools in this universe, where you can have the things that you want to have, achieve the things that you want to achieve, if you can get it straightforward and untwist what's twisted. That to me is absolutely amazing. That to me means that we can overcome things. We can get to the place where we can become reflections. Our levels of focus can be heightened. The goals that we achieve can become a reflection on the outside. When that shines, when that stuff happens for you, this universe utilizes you as a tool. When you are inside of yourself to the point where the reflection shines outwards, when you are to that place of focus, where when you see it in the thousands, the millions, the billions, and the changes that are available. And here, the tools, they're all the same. Each individual tool is just a level of focus. We utilize that in such a way that we use this universe. This universe is created by the Most High for us all to utilize. And we have to utilize the tools that we have available to us. We have to put ourselves as a level of focus and say, it's me versus me, it's you versus you. That means if you're trying to do good at a job, that means that you don't put the emotion in place of a place of focus. You recognize that it comes down to, I put myself here to do this. I'm here at this time. I'm here from this time to this time. When I'm here, I focus on these tasks. Ultimately, that shines outwards as a reflection. Ultimately, you are identified as a tool in this universe, and this universe has the ability to test your level of torque. See if what you want from your level of focus truly is what you got. It will use you as a tool. You will either utilize it as a tool and it will work, or it will break you. And if it breaks you, then that means you rewrite, you restudy, you refocus, and you put yourself in a way that you become a tool in this universe. You put yourself in a way that what shines outwards comes from within who you are. You put yourself in a way that the reflection shines outwards from your level of focus. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as you versus you. I am not a spoon. I am not a fork. I am not here to spoon feed you. I'm not here to tell you stories about how you can't do this, how you have to put your logics into it. I want you to see what you got inside of yourself is strength. That is the reflection outwards. There ain't no such thing as I can't be motivated. I can't be strong. It is, am I focused? Can I focus to the point where what shines outwards is coming from within me and from within you? And if you ask yourself that question, ask yourself, how focused am I? How focused am I? And if the answer is, I'm not focused, let's get to work. Join me on my motivation, meditation, inspiration, yoga. Let's get down together. Let's come up with tools. Let's come up with paths. So the answer from within you is, I am focused. I am focused. I am a reflection outwards from my level of focus that other people see me as strong, as motivation. I focus on motivation. I put myself in positive places. I write stuff down. I read stuff. I utilize the tasks and tools that I have available inside of myself. And if I don't have certain tasks, I don't excuse myself from being able to utilize what I do have. When we put ourselves in that place where it's us versus us, then we give ourselves that ability to answer that question. And when you answer that question as I am focused, I am a reflection outwards as motivation. Other people see me as strong. They see from my level of focus a place where they just would not go because they can't be inside of you and they can't be inside of me. So what I'm talking about is getting down with yourself. Join me. I'm creating a network. I'm creating a group to get this straight forward, to get out of these paths where we are able mentalities. Let's do it together. Let's get down to this grind. Let's get down to the point where we can achieve these goals, where we take on just enough tasks to where we can do them the best of our abilities, where the things that we sign up for, we become. When we put ourselves in those places, when we put ourselves in those challenges, we are known by other people as strong from our level of focus, our place inside of ourselves, that connection with that level of absorption to become that reflection on the outside. And by writing stuff down, reading, studying, listening, and putting ourselves in that way, that what shines outwards ultimately comes a reflection of yourselves. I'm here to help you extract the tools within yourself that this universe would have the ability to utilize yourself. And I'm telling you, it's an all inwards and a reflection outwards. So let's go ahead and start talking about how that actually works inside of ourselves. So as we get down with that torque, as we get tested by this universe, as we get to that place where this universe has the ability to start to utilize you, you start to realize that it just comes down to how well you can focus. Do you want this as bad as this universe wants to test you? Can you utilize the tools like writing stuff down? The next tool to utilize is to recognize that you are that tool. You are that tool in this universe. And that when you go inwards, when you put yourself in that place where you start to focus inwards, that you start to get into the place inside of yourself where you start to utilize it to heat up, and that the manifestation on the outside comes from your ability to go inwards. Now, one of the ways in which we have the ability to go inwards is with our internal breath, which is also the reason why focus is a inwards. And what other people see as a reflection is the outside. So let's untwist that and connect that focus to our inwards breath. Let's go ahead and start to absorb the knowledge. Let's go ahead and go into that place where the focus is connected to the inwards breath. So as we start to journey into the focus, we start to find ourselves in a path where it's not somebody else versus somebody else. We start to head into a path where we start to face off against the challenges that we have been through on a daily basis. When we get to that place where we are absolutely 100% alone, because we're at that level of focus inside of ourselves, what ultimately starts to happen is this universe will utilize yourself as a tool. Now, this tool from this internal breath has to come in. Now, that means that there has to be a transition to out. The center between the transition in and the out is you, because you breathe in and you breathe out. This means that there are subjects inside of you to be able to study, such as the ability to stand your ground, the ability to have your depth perception, to improve your professions, to voice yourselves, to the point where the reflection shines outwards from how you focus inwards. When you put yourself in that place where that focus is working in your favor, it gives you the ability to put yourself as a student focusing inside the classroom of you. As you start to focus on the classroom inside of you, you will be able to overcome emotion. You will get to the place of study. You will get to the place where you learn from the lessons inside of yourself, that each individual lesson is there as knowledge. It is waiting for you to focus to the point where you can break down the knowledge inside of yourself. So as this universe utilizes you as a tool, you have the ability to extract the knowledge inside of yourself from the lesson. Now, as you extract the knowledge inside of yourself from the lesson, you will have to go through the layers that are there. To get to the knowledge itself is like heating up the focus to the point where it removes the impurities from the knowledge. So as you feast on the knowledge, utilizing your internal breath to break down the subjects of who you are, which are provable scientifically, that you will start to recognize that you can change that and it will become a level of knowledge. As you gain this extraction inside of yourself, your inner self will go in that tunnel as a light. You will become your best friend. Your breath will become a connection with you. Your focus and your knowledge get to the place of extraction, where you start to learn from the lessons that you've been through. The challenge that you go through on a daily basis is meant for your growth. As you feast on this knowledge, as you put yourself in that place, as that happens, the things around you will no longer have the ability to disable your able thought process. Now, recognizing that you are a student inside the classroom of you, also put yourself as the teacher teaching the student, because as you extract those lessons, you bypass emotion and all other things that would be less than knowledge and focus. As you have that connection, you go to that place where that is what truly matters. That is the knowledge and focus is within you. What you utilize from here is very important, because this means that your incoming breath puts you as a student inside the classroom, and that the exhaling breath is the teacher. So the knowledge is right here inside the classroom, with the inhale and the exhaling breath in center. So both the student and the teacher gain the connection in the center of you. When we focus on the art of the study and the art of the reflection, we start to get known as meditators. When we connect with the breath to those levels where we overcome all challenges that we face off against, where we're no longer upset, where we're no longer sad, and there's no such thing except for a able mentality, from our level of focus to be able to destroy those impurities to allow us to gain that knowledge, the light inside of ourselves shines outwards. That means that you have that within yourself to reflect outwards the knowledge that you have from every challenge, and to overcome each individual challenge. This place, this connection with ourselves, to get to that level of extraction, to utilize the tools that we do, the knowledge that we do have inside of ourselves. This is what people identify with the reflection known as meditation. Realistically, what it is the focus to the point where you study the art of the knowledge inside of you. So the study of oneself, the study of the ability to be who you are. Knowledge and focus. Simple as that. That is a connection. That is knowledge and focus utilization inside of you. That is the ability to recognize that you are a blessing. That you have knowledge and focus inside of yourself. That what you do have is there for you. That when you can connect the two together and you could put yourself between knowledge and focus, that you are there. That you are inside of you. That you are a blessing in this universe. Recognizing that that is available, recognizing that we can get to that place, gives us the ability to put our whole self into it. put our whole self into our being, and to become something that this universe will create as a place of discipline. After all, this is the first discipline. You are the first discipline. When we put ourselves with our knowledge and our focus into our tasks that we take on, we put the whole entire being into that, then we become disciplined. As we become disciplined daily, day in and day out, discipline ultimately becomes a reflection. Now, this reflection, other people will identify with you. They will see from your level of discipline, from your knowledge and your focus on the tasks that you choose to take on, that this discipline will create a reflection. As you put your whole self into it, you will create ripples. As you create ripples, the wind will turn in your direction. As the wind turns in your direction, others will start being pulled in that direction. As they are pulled in that direction, they'll start to identify with you in such a way that they will start to have their own wind moving in their direction. As this wind moves in their direction and they see that they're moving and that you're moving and that they're on their journey and that we're on this journey, each individual journey, those ripples will create a reflection known as inspiration. The universe will utilize what you do have when you break down to who you are. Inside of you, your knowledge and your focus becomes a reflection outwards as inspiration. I want you to know that you can reach that level of discipline, that you can get to that place inside of yourself where you can gain the knowledge and the focus, where the reflection from your level of you, this discipline, to this place can become a reflection outwards. I want you to recognize with yourself as a blessing, a light in this universe. I want you to see that the more disciplined one becomes, the less tasks that one takes on, the greater the tasks that they can take on. When we reflect outwards with this, what we find is changes in this universe. That is what they identify with. Nothing is changing within you. You are only connecting with yourself, and what is happening is this universe is using your level of discipline, and that reflection is shining outward from within who you are. When you see this inside of yourself, when others see this, we have the ability to get down with who we are. And in that place, it's absolutely beautiful. With that kind of connection, this universe creates you as a blessing. It recognizes you as a blessing. When you utilize the blessings of this universe, when you're in connection with the Most High Creator of this universe, then what we're doing is we're becoming inspirations. And we have seen those inspirations time and time and time again. We have seen the Pelés. We have seen the Michael Jordans. We have seen the Michael Phelps. We have seen those who take breaths away. Is it time for you? Can you allow yourself to have that time inside of who you are? Can you put yourself in a place where you can bypass